Breaking news tonight, President Trump just announced he's commuting the sentence of George Santos, the imprisoned former congressman, now walking free. The disgraced former member of the U.S. House was serving more than 7 years, convicted of wire fraud and ID theft. How the president justified his new decision. Plus, face-to-face, President Trump and Zelenskyy at the White House, the key request from the Ukrainians to help them win the war, those Tomahawk missiles. The president's response tonight, plus the new details on that Trump-Putin summit in Alaska. What Putin did to cause President Trump to want to walk out of the talks. The newest strike in the Caribbean with a shocking twist. 2 people on board surviving. Where they are now and what we just learned about the underwater vessel they were traveling in. Royal no more. Prince Andrew giving up his royal titles as he faces fresh questions about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. How the king is responding tonight. The urgent search for a missing woman and the chilling new video authorities say shows the suspect trying to get into another victim's home. The stunning home robbery caught on camera. The sophisticated surveillance thieves are using to strike while you're away. An officer running to a burning car with only seconds to save the woman trapped inside. Scary moment, students tumbling as bleachers collapse at a high school soccer game. Can you use ChatGPT to win the lottery? How AI may have helped one woman win $100 grand. And the life-changing surprise, the high school team giving back to a man who has always cheered them on. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
And good evening. We come on the air tonight with breaking news. President Donald Trump announcing he has commuted the sentence of disgraced former Congressman George Santos. Santos reported to prison this summer to start serving his more than 7-year sentence. He pleaded guilty to a long list of federal charges that included wire fraud, ID theft, and even money laundering. The president posting moments ago, "I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately." Gabe Gutierrez joins me now from the White House. And Gabe, how is the president justifying this decision?
Well, Tom, a senior White House official tells NBC News that the president has heard from multiple friends and allies of George Santos asking for clemency, and that the president had read a recent letter from Santos describing his conditions in prison. Now, Santos began his 7-year federal prison sentence, as you mentioned, this summer after pleading guilty in April to charges of aggravated identity theft and wire fraud. Now, the Republican became a household name shortly after he was elected to Congress in 2022, when the New York Times first reported several lies he told about his backstory during his congressional campaign. The president writing on social media tonight, George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison, adding, at least Santos had the courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. The president also writing, "I just signed the commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life." Tom.
Gabe Gutierrez with that breaking news at the White House. And that's where we're going to stay because President Zelenskyy was there today, making his case to President Trump for long-range Tomahawk missiles, which could have a major impact on Ukraine's war with Russia. Here's Garrett Haake.
From the moment his meeting with Ukraine's President Zelenskyy began,
do you believe you can convince Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine?
President Trump striking an optimistic tone he can bring an end to the Ukraine war as he prepares for a second summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin.
This should be one that we get done. And I think the table is set properly here now, too. And it'll be a great honor.
Zelenskyy praising President Trump's Mideast ceasefire deal, suggesting it's a good sign.
My congratulations with your successful ceasefire in the Middle East.
Thank you.
I think this is the momentum to finish Russia's war against Ukraine.
I think we carry a lot of momentum, a lot of credibility. Getting Middle East done was very important. Nobody thought it could be done.
Though President Trump non-committal on Zelenskyy's request for U.S. Tomahawk missiles.
We need Tomahawks, and we need a lot of other things that we've been sending over the last 4 years to Ukraine. Hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about Tomahawks.
Saying he'll speak with Zelenskyy after his Putin meeting.
We have to get together. It's a very small group of people. It's the president, and the president. Okay? 3 presidents. And I'm the mediator president. And I'm mediating, not an easy situation.
It comes as we're learning about tensions inside President Trump's Alaska summit with Putin this summer. Putin rejected President Trump's ceasefire proposal, delivering what a source familiar with the meeting told NBC News was a rambling historical speech. A surprise Trump raised his voice several times and even threatened to walk out, the source said. Today, the president was asked if he was concerned Putin was trying to buy more time.
Yeah, I am, but, you know, I've been played all my life by the best of them, and I came out really well. So it's possible, yeah, a little time.
Is your gut instinct?
It's all right. But I think that I'm pretty good at this stuff. I think that he wants to make a deal.
All right, Garrett joins us now. And Garrett, you have some new reporting tonight on those Tomahawk missiles?
Yeah, Tom, two senior White House officials tell me the president was already leaning against providing those missiles before today's meeting, and that nothing he heard from President Zelenskyy changed his mind. The bottom line, those officials say, is that the president believes providing those missiles would prolong the war, and he doesn't want to go that route. Tom?
All right, Garrett Haig with that new reporting tonight. Garrett, we thank you. And tune in this Sunday for Meet the Press, where Kristen Welker will sit down with President Zelenskyy. We look forward to that. Okay, time now for our new reporting on those U.S. strikes on boats the Trump administration says are smuggling drugs into the U.S. Tonight, new questions after two people somehow survived the latest strike and are now in custody. Here's Courtney Kuby.
After a series of deadly U.S. strikes against boats the Trump administration says were smuggling drugs into the U.S., tonight we're learning the latest strike had a twist. At least two people on board survived the blast, according to two U.S. officials. U.S. Navy helicopters were overhead and a boat picked them up, the officials said. They remain in U.S. custody tonight. President Trump describing the strike.
We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines.
The president appearing to reference a semi-submersible like this one that authorities say cartels use to smuggle drugs. This is the sixth boat the U.S. military has struck in international waters, killing at least 29 people, according to the Trump administration. Though some in Congress are questioning whether the strikes are legal.
And we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are.
The U.S. considers Venezuela's authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro illegitimate. President Trump was asked about reports Maduro had offered the U.S. a stake in Venezuela's natural resources.
He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to around with the United States.
And with that, Courtney joins us live. And Courtney, I know you have some new reporting after the surprise retirement of the admiral who ran U.S. Southern Command overseeing these strikes off Venezuela.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. He's Admiral Alvin Halsey, the head of the U.S. military in Central and South America. He didn't explain his unexpected retirement announcement, but U.S. officials tell NBC News about tensions between he and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth for months, with Hegseth looking for someone he says is more aggressive against the cartels in the region. Tom?
All right, Courtney Kuby first. Courtney, thank you. President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, made his first court appearance today following his indictment on 18 counts of mishandling classified information. Laura Jarrett joins us now live in studio. And Laura, we learned how much time he could face in prison.
And it is potentially significant, Tom. Bolton there appearing in court pleading not guilty to all the charges. He's maintained that he did nothing wrong. He submitted to the natural paperwork, the usual processing, including a fingerprinting, a mugshot, all the things that you would typically see for any other defendant. He was required to turn over his passport to his lawyer and agreed not to leave the country. We should mention here, Tom, the sentence potentially 10 years per count. So we're talking about serious prison time. Of course, that would ultimately be up to the judge. This case, though, Tom, not going to trial anytime soon. Cases like this take years, not months.
Okay, Laura Jarrett. Laura, we thank you. Yeah. Now overseas to that dramatic announcement from Prince Andrew facing ongoing outrage over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Tonight, he's giving up his royal titles. Here's Raf Sanchez.
Tonight, after years of criticism and outrage over his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew says he's giving up the use of his official titles, including His Royal Highness and the Duke of York. He'll also stop attending royal Christmas celebrations. King Charles's younger brother writing, "In discussion with the king and my immediate and wider family, we've concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. I vigorously deny the accusations against me." It comes ahead of the publication of an explosive autobiography by Virginia Giuffre, who says she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was 17, after she had been trafficked by Epstein. "He was friendly enough, but still entitled, as if he believed having sex with me was his birthright," Giuffre wrote, according to a book excerpt in The Guardian. Giuffre died by suicide in April.
Categorically, I don't remember meeting her at all.
After this 2019 BBC interview turned into a PR disaster, Andrew stepped back from royal duties and later settled a lawsuit with Giuffre.
And Giuffre's family are calling this a vindication, but they want the king to go further and strip Andrew of his title of prince. Tom?
Okay, Raf. Back home to Los Angeles tonight, another home invasion caught on camera, but this time the thieves using walkie-talkies as they pull off their heist. Here's Liz Kreutz with more on the sophisticated way burglars are breaking into the homes.
It's video of another home break-in in Los Angeles, but this one different. As an alarm goes off, you can see and hear the masked burglars communicating by what appears to be walkie-talkie, coordinating their efforts while ransacking the bedroom.
Yeah, we good? Yeah, y'all good, y'all good.
Just days later, also in broad daylight, another group casing this home in North Hollywood. 3 masked people get out and walk towards a side gate.
We believe they were watching us leave and saw us back out of our driveway.
Leah Young says her husband was still home. As he calls for police,
Call 911! Call 911!
The burglars run away.
They just got into their BMW sedan with dark tinted windows, no license plate, and sped off.
Tonight, LAPD says both videos are part of larger investigations into the spree of home robberies across LA, many by organized gangs of thieves who officials say use high-tech tactics to track homeowners, from celebrities like Brad Pitt and Nicole Kidman, whose homes have been targeted, to everyday residents.
They're sophisticated, they're coordinated, and they're fast.
Authorities say among the tactics, hiding cameras in bushes and jamming the Wi-Fi so alarms and home ring cameras don't work.
How are these burglars deciding which homes to target?
Well, they'll see someone out, and they'll spot them as a person of means. They can follow them home. They can put an AirTag on their car.
Here in LA, the mayor says LAPD is increasing patrols. Experts say homeowners can also consider installing hardwire cameras that don't rely on Wi-Fi. Tom.
Okay, Liz, we thank you. Turning now to the race for New York City mayor, where 33-year-old Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani has a commanding lead in the polls. Mamdani has become a national figure and is already clashing with President Trump. Here's Sam Brock.
Tonight, Zohran Mamdani is the clear frontrunner in the race for New York City mayor.
Excited. Feeling good?
With the latest poll showing the Democratic Socialist leading his closest competitor, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, by more than 20 points. But his fiercest opponent may not even be in this race, with Mamdani now a frequent target of President Trump.
I wouldn't be generous to a communist, a guy that's going to take the money and throw it out the window.
If he ever wants to come for New Yorkers in the way that he has been, he's going to have to get through me as the next mayor of the city.
Last night, the New York State Assemblyman facing off in a debate against Cuomo, who's running as an independent, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. In a race getting attention from all over the world, Mamdani pressed about a Fox News interview this week where he declined to answer whether Hamas should lay down arms, after heavy criticism sharpening his answer.
Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms.
The 33-year-old has gone from relative unknown to household name, with his message about improving affordability appealing to many New Yorkers, but also prompting questions about his political resume.
He has no experience. He literally has never had a job.
What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Yeah. Both candidates making the case for why they're the right person to push back on the president if he deploys the National Guard in New York.
Why would that not happen under your administration?
I wouldn't let him.
But how would you prevent it? What stopped him before?
Well, he sent the National Guard into 20 cities when I was governor. He didn't send them into New York.
What it has to do with is intimidation. That's what this is about. And we need a mayor who's not too busy coordinating with Donald Trump to actually fight back.
Sam Brock, NBC News, New York.
In 60 seconds, the disturbing video out of Philly showing a kidnapping suspect. Look at this, appearing to target a different victim, hopping a fence before looking right into the window and into a camera. But is it bringing police closer to finding one of the victims? That's next. We're back now with the urgent search for a missing woman in Philadelphia and the chilling images of the prime suspect. Here's Emily Aketa.
2 weeks after 23-year-old Kata Scott went missing, chilling video surfacing of the suspect in her disappearance.
Go away, don't come over here.
Prosecutors in Philadelphia say this is Keon King, shortly before he kidnapped and assaulted a different woman earlier this year.
It's all these kids in here. Call the cops.
The Philadelphia District Attorney's Office says that case had been withdrawn after the victim and witness repeatedly failed to appear in court. But the office is now refiling those charges, along with kidnapping and related offenses in the disappearance of Scott, who went missing shortly after arriving at work at a senior living facility on October 4th, according to investigators. They say Scott and King have known each other for a short time.
He was the last person with her. He was traveling with her when her phone goes offline. We have every reason to believe at this point she did not go willingly.
This week, Keon King turned himself in to police. The next day, investigators canvassing with drones and dogs found items believed to belong to the missing woman near an abandoned middle school, and later towed away King's damaged vehicle from an apartment complex. NBC News reached out to King's attorney for comment, while 23-year-old Kata Scott's loved ones wait for answers in agony.
We have no idea at all, where she is, where she could be. We love her. I just pray that she's safe.
Officials say they believe there may have been other victims of King, tonight encouraging them to come forward. Emily Ketta, NBC News.
And we're back in a moment with a devastating storm that forced evacuations in Alaska and why the road to recovery might be longer than people thought. And new police body cam video of an officer rescuing a driver after her car burst into flames. That's next. We are back now with an update on those devastating floods in Alaska. Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy now saying that the nearly 2,000 people who evacuated may not be able to go home, get this, for at least a year and a half. The governor saying that in his request for a major disaster declaration from the White House. It comes days after the remnants of a typhoon swept away homes in remote villages in that state. Also tonight, dramatic video of a police officer. You can see it right here, saving a driver from a burning vehicle in Texas. You see the car bursting into flames. The officer gets the door open and pulls the driver out to safety. The Mesquite Police Department saying the crash was caused by a drunk driver, but that nobody else was hurt. Also tonight, alarming video. Look at this, of kids falling from bleachers at a high school soccer game in Kentucky. It happened at Wagoneer High School in Louisville. The Jefferson County Public School District says the railing gave way when students ran to the front of those bleachers at the same time. The athletic director of the opposing team said there were no life-threatening injuries. Okay, and check this out. A woman won a major Powerball prize with numbers she picked using ChatGPT. Tammy Carvey won $100,000 after she says she asked AI for a set of Powerball numbers. She says she plans to pay off her home and save the rest of all that cash. All right. The Michigan Lottery says results can't be predicted using artificial intelligence. When we come back, the high school volleyball team with the surprise of a lifetime for their beloved custodian, who's also their biggest fan. That's next. There's good news tonight about a high school volleyball team and a special surprise they planned for a man they say does so much for them. Watch as Abel Rodriguez walks out of this high school where he's a custodian and realizes this huge cheering crowd was there to celebrate him with an incredible gift, a car just for him.
I love you forever.
I caught up with him today. When you found out about this, I mean, when they told you you had a car and you saw it, what did you think?
Al ver el carro, pues no lo podía creer.
Abel saying once he saw the car, he couldn't believe
it. In shock.
The surprise, all thanks to the volleyball team at Community High School near Dallas.
This felt so nice to finally have been able to repay him for all that he does for us.
The players say Abel, the late shift supervisor, is their biggest supporter, even warming up with the team before tonight's game. So when they learned he didn't have a car, they swung into action. How did you guys get this idea?
We had just always talked about how we felt like Abel deserved more than like what he was getting.
To know that we could help pull this all together and give it to him was just like such an amazing feeling to have.
The team raised more than $9,000, and then a local dealership jumped in. Thank you. To help make this emotional moment happen.
A ellas, a Yorina, gracias, Adi.
Abel thanking the girls who helped him so much and who had one more gift for him. Is there anything you guys would like to tell him?
We care about you, Abel, and we'd do anything for you.
Our thanks to KXAS, our NBC station in Dallas-Fort Worth, for their help on that story. That's Nightly News for this Friday. I'm Tom Llamas. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Good night. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.